General, kanina po sabi nyo, hindi nyo alam yung confidential fund.
Yeah,
You
that's
still
correct.
confirm that?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr.
But I
Chair.
hope you understand that the certifications which I confirm from the AFP officers, the 4 of them, pertains to the expenditure of 15 million taken from the confidential fund. And according to them, those certifications were required by you.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, actually I was asked by the Officer of the Secretary to ask for certification coming from these units. But it is clear to them or even to me that no funds are involved, meaning no funds released to these units. What the Office of the Secretary is wanted to know is the product or the result of the collaboration of various stakeholders, including DepEd, with regards to our youth. So it is clear, ma'am, that DepEd has not released any single centavo to the conduct of wireless to the units mentioned, ma'am, Your Honor, and Mr. Chair.
If you are saying, General Mempin, na walang nirelease na pondo ang DepEd dito po sa Youth Leadership Summits, saan po ginastos yung 15 million?
That's, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, that was, I was not aware of it because the task given to me is just to coordinate because to be candid about it, the commanders of Colonel Buransing, Colonel Panopio, and Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan are my former colleagues or classmates in the Philippine Military Academy.
Mr. Chair, I wish to ask the COA, Attorney Camora, tama ba ang understanding ko? Sa AOM, may disallowance na 75 million. Out of 75 million, you are asking for supporting documents of the 15 million which were paid as rewards to informers.
Attorney Camora, you are recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And in response to that supporting documents, the DepEd submitted these certifications about the Youth Leadership Summit. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In other words, these certifications submitted by the AFP officers are being used as justification for the 15 million utilization paid as reward to informers. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
General Mempin, your statement is completely contradictory to the stand and position of COA.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, as I previously mentioned, the only task given to me is to coordinate to my colleagues in the active service of the Philippine Army to have a report on the conduct of Youth Leadership Summit. But as to the utilization or disbursement of 15 million payment to informers, I was not made aware of it, and I have no knowledge that this certification is for the payment of informers. Your Honor and Mr. Chair.
General Mempin, I understand we also have Major General Bahaw. You have a letter here, General Bahaw. This is about the 9 Youth Leadership Summits. Kanino nyo po ito in-address?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Chair. May I be recognized?
Major General Bahaw, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ma'am, I addressed the letter to Yusek Nolasco Mempin po, updating him of the YLS conducted in my division then.
And similar to the questions that were propounded to the 3 other AFP Officers, kapag ho ba nagwa-YLS kayo, sinong gumagastos?
Ma'am, sari-sariling agency po na nagpa-participate dito ang gumagastos. Sa amin po, more on facilitation and security. Kami po ang gumagastos sa sarili naming mga tropa.
And with respect to the children and the youth who are the participants, do you confirm what they said already? LGU ang gumagastos?
Yes, ma'am.
At kanina po sinabi din ni General Mempin, balikan ko si General Mempin, sabi niyo po, General, wala talagang gastos ang DepEd dito?
To
You
be
stated
clear,
that kanina.
because as I was asked if the confidential funds is used for the conduct of wireless, so it's clear that no funds is downloaded or given to the Philippine Army for the use of the conduct of wireless, but if confidential fund is given
General,
to informers
that
of
is
DepEd.
tantamount to saying na walang gastos ang DepEd sa inyo. When you said that they did not or DepEd did not download any fund to the military. Tama?
That's correct, Your
So,
Honor. and
what you wanted
Mr.
to say, walang ginastos ang DepEd sa taga-military when it comes to the Youth Leadership Summit. Do you confirm that?
That's, I confirm that's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I am very much surprised, but let me wrap up and make this manifestation before I yield to the other members of the committee. While we believe that these certifications were submitted to justify the 15 million that were allegedly paid as reward to informers, now all the officers from the AFP, that includes General Mempin, the USEC for Administration, are stating that the DepEd did not utilize any of its confidential fund in support of the Youth Leadership Summit. These statements, Mr. Chair, are completely contradictory to what DepEd has made the COA believe in the submission of all these certifications. Mr. Chair, to proceed, let us all be reminded, ito pong confidential fund na ito, pera ng taong bayan. We, all of us, are accountable to the Filipino citizens. Public office is a public trust. We should be accountable to the people at all times. And I do not understand why these people who are supposed to explain the 15 million is totally unaware of the same, because they are saying that they never use the DepEd fund and what they use is the fund of the AFP. While we understand, Mr. Chair, that confidential fund by its nature is not encouraged to be scrutinized, there is nothing under the law that prohibits the same as well. There are important observations, Mr. Chair. Number one, among all civilian agencies, DepEd is one of the very few with confidential fund. Two, DepEd had this confidential fund only in 2023 and never in prior time. Three, I hope we can show also that while the DND, which has a mandate to address the national security, has 37 million confidential fund only, the Department of National Defense has 37 million. The DepEd, which mandate does not include national security, has 150 million confidential fund. Mr. Chair, to continue, while the police, the AFP officers already denied this YLS, having been supported by DepEd, 15.54 million po ang amount that the DepEd is trying to justify in making use of the certifications that were submitted by the AFP. Number 5, Mr. Chair, prior to 2016, pag ang pinag-usapan po natin ay Youth Leadership Summit, it is the AFP who leads and they just coordinate with DepEd. But on the report that was given by COA, it seems to appear that the one leading the Youth Leadership Summit is the DepEd in coordination with AFP. Paligtad po ito. Number 6, Mr. Chair, I do not want to preempt any conclusion. However, Mr. Chair, General Mempin spent 2017 to 2023 of his AFP career in Davao City and Davao Region. During this time, the former president is the president and our vice president is the mayor. During those time, Mr. Chair, Davao City, while it is authorized to have and to utilize confidential fund, I believe has one of the highest confidential fund among the LGUs in the entire country. I hope the Secretariat can produce the data. I wish to ask, Mr. Chair, ito bang lahat ng ito ay coincidences? Given this observation, let us all be reminded that the leeway that is being given to confidential fund is to be able to address a very important concern, and that is national security of the country. No more, no less. The procurement and the liquidation were made liberal in recognition of the significance of the purpose of the confidential fund. However, Mr. Chair, if there are glaring indications of irregularity already, as those that we have mentioned, plus the admission of the AFP, is it not that COA should address its mandate of making sure that all receipts and all expenditures are duly accounted for the Filipino people? Question number 1, since when has irregularity in confidential fund been happening? 2, what has COA done so far with respect to its accounting rules in order to address the irregularity? And 3, will COA simply brush aside these irregularities, especially with the admission of the AFP that they were the one who spent for the 15 million Youth Leadership Summit and not the Department of Education? Let us remember, regardless of which office in the government we belong, public trust always carries accountability. To tone down the mood of our investigation at para mas maintindihan po ako ng mga tao, mayroon hong prominent na line sa pelikulang Star Wars. Ang sabi, comes with great power is great responsibility. If you translate this to constitutional language, let us all be reminded, public office is a public trust. The trust that is given to us by the people carries with it due accountability. Thank you, Mr. Chair.